There have been quite a few new free image editing programs coming onto the scene in recent years, which brings up the question, are any of them any good? Well, I've rounded up what I feel are the 6 best free programs you might want to consider. And don't worry, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one is the best for you, your photos, and how you want to edit them. So what I did was I used the following criteria to judge the different photo editing programs. Ease of use and how much of a learning curve there actually is to use the program, what file types the program supports, can you make global adjustments like exposure and contrast, and can you make local adjustments like exposure and contrast? And then finally, can you color correct and style your images? Now, before we jump into the exciting stuff, what these programs can actually do, I need you to smash that subscribe button. I put out a new video like this every week and you are not going to want to miss them. Now, let's get to it. Number 1, GIMP. It's a very robust, free open source image editor, and it can do most of what Photoshop can do, and it's been around since the 90s. So the pros for GIMP: it supports JPEG, GIF, PNG, TIFF, and PSD files, and also includes several special use formats. GIMP allows you to adjust global contrast as well as local adjustments through the use of layers and masking. It has several tools for color correction and styling of your pictures. If you do not like the subscription-based model Adobe has for Photoshop, GIMP might be your best alternative. So some of the cons to GIMP. Now, there is quite a learning curve to this software and it can seem frustrating, especially if you are used to working in Photoshop. All right, on to number 2, Photopea. Photopea is a free browser-based photo and graphic editor and can be used for image editing, web design, and illustration. So a few of the pros: it has a very clean, intuitive interface, making learning and using it really easy. Has a very similar look and feel to Photoshop, so if you know Photoshop or use Photoshop, you're gonna feel right at home in Photopea, and I was even pleasantly surprised to see that the quick keys were even the same. This software supports both raster and vector graphics, and it pretty much supports every photo file type that you will need. It has great tools for global and local adjustments using masking and adjustment layers. It is a great alternative to Photoshop, but there definitely are some cons to this software. The biggest one being mainly uploading images can be slow because it's all web-based. Another con would be that it can't leverage all the available plugins for Photoshop. And lastly, ads take up some of the screen real estate, so that can be a little bit annoying, but again, it's free. All right, up at number 3 is Pixlr Express. Pixlr is a free online photo editor similar to Photoshop with a diverse range of photo editing tools. Pixlr allows you to swiftly edit and improve your photos. The pros of Pixlr: it supports many image photos, including JPEG, PNG, WebP, PSD, PXD, SVG, TIFF, and BMP files. It has a very intuitive user interface with global adjustment tools. It also has support for layers, and it has a host of preset effects and options for global adjustments. However, there are definitely some cons. It does not offer 16-bit or RAW file support. There's really no easy way to do local adjustments, which is a huge negative in my opinion. Pixlr is an online photo editor, so it can be a little bit slow to upload and edit your images at times. It just depends on the speed of your connection. And being a free version, it does have ads that take up some of that precious screen real estate. Next up is Evoto. Evoto claims to be the best AI photo editor, and it states that it can revolutionize your photos with AI Pro retouching. It was developed as an AI retouching app, but now it can really do quite a bit more. And this one's a bit of an outlier. The software is free to use, but unlike many other free photo editors that will download to your computer, but when you go to use them, will prompt you to pay for a subscription.
Stop it.
Evoto is fully functional and has a different model, and one that I can definitely appreciate more. You only pay for final exported images that are otherwise watermarked. This software is really reasonable for how powerful it actually is, and the images, I believe, start at around 7 cents an image. So some of the pros of Evoto: it can handle raw and large files easily because it is running locally on your computer. It supports all major formats of images, and it has very fast performance. It can easily bulk edit images, including the retouching functions. It has a very intuitive interface, very similar to Lightroom. On the editing side, you can do both global and local adjustments with it. and it has a really cool before and after feature that I find super handy. The AI capabilities of this software is nothing short of amazing. It includes skin retouching, body and facial reshaping, a background, like a seamless background cleaner, clothing wrinkle remover. It will take the glare out of glasses and much more. And they are also constantly releasing new features and updates. So some of the cons of Evoto. Well, even though I included it in this list, it's not free, at least if you want your final images. Remember that 7 cents an image I mentioned? Well, you do need to buy these in bulk, and the plans start at $84 to get started. The software does not have layers functionality, and it's primarily aimed at portrait photographers and for portraits, though I really don't see why you couldn't use it on other images. Next up, we have number 5, which is Photoscape. This is a free photo editing program for Mac and Windows that allows users to enhance and fix their photos. The pros of this is an intuitive, simple interface, and it's very beginner friendly. It supports RAW files from major camera brands as well as the usual image formats you might need. It runs locally on your computer, so in general, it will run faster than its cloud-based rivals. It does include auto global adjustment tools, presets, and effects to improve and stylize your image. Now, the cons of Photoscape. All the advanced features are locked behind a paywall, and there's no real tools for global adjustments, only the auto tools unless you pay for them. And there's also no layer or local adjustment options. All right, lastly, I included these two as number 6. It is Apple Photos and Windows Photos. They're both free image storage and editing software that come with the different operating systems. And I combine these two as they're so similar that they even decided with the same name. Pretty wild. Now, full transparency, I'm sure that there are some differences, and I don't really own a Windows PC, so what I'm going off of in the Windows side is strictly through my research. Now, the pros. Many file formats are supported, including JPEG, RAW, PNG, GIF, and TIFF, and they're really great for organizing all your photos from different devices. Very easy and intuitive interfaces to learn, and more functionality and image editing capability keeps getting added to these programs over time. There are global exposure, contrast, and color correction controls. These programs are just really convenient, and they back up all your photos to your cloud automatically. Now, some of the cons to these programs, they definitely lack some of the more advanced editing tools. There's no support for using layers or local adjustments or anything like that. And then one of the bigger ones too is the cloud storage can get expensive. So now, to answer the big question, what program is the all-around best? For me, I would say that I'm most impressed with Photopea and how similar to Photoshop it actually is. I think as the internet and cloud-based programs in general increase with speed over time, this is going to be a really great resource and tool for many photographers, especially if you don't want to get stuck with a subscription with Adobe. It's really pretty exciting stuff. And I definitely want to give an honorable mention to Evoto. It's not free per se, but it is certainly a special piece of software that every portrait photographer should check out. And on the other side of that, if you are just super casual and shoot mostly with your phone, then the native operating system editors will probably be the best option for you. And you can always up your game to one of the others when you're actually ready to. So hey, let me know in the comments below if you've used any of these programs and if you have a favorite. And also make sure you check out this video on designing an album fast.